ASHTAVAKRA Ji says to King Janak, I am unique and pure perceptive essence. Through this supreme decision, fill light into the darkness of ignorance and become sorrowless and blessed. Let's look at each individual word. Unique. It means one without a second. If we talk about the ocean, then it will be incorrect to say that the water is similar to the wave, because if we actually touch a wave, there's no wave. It is all water. We are seeing water, touching water, feeling the water, but we have named its form wave. Wave is just an appearance of water. Unique means one without a second. I am unique. We need to understand the I here intricately, because he isn't saying that the truth is unique. God is unique. He is saying, I am unique. This is the beauty of ASHTAVAKRA Gita. He is directly pointing towards I. It's been said, I am unique and pure perceptive essence. And is important here, because both are being combined here. I am unique and pure perceptive essence. I am unique, but I am absolutely pure too, untouched by anything. Meaning, in this entire creation, wherever someone is perceiving something, that is happening to me. Firstly, there is a perception and sorrow happiness follows it. Perception meaning experience. First, we see something. Then, it feels good or bad. First, we come in contact with a smell. Post that, it smells good or bad. Everything happens afterwards. The first step for anything to start is to experience through any of the five senses. And if there are five senses, then there can be more senses too. Even on this planet, there are so many organisms who have such senses which we don't have in humans. For example, when an earthquake is about to strike, some animals pre-perceive it. How? Are they listening to something? Seeing something? What is happening? So whatever experience is happening through whichever instrument, that is happening to me. Such a big statement. Such a liberating statement. But what do I say? I am just here. Whereas you should say that only the instrument is here. For example, you have put a camera at a certain place. Where you put the camera, the type of the camera, the features of capturing in that camera, that is what will be seen. Nothing more than that, isn't it? You won't see UV rays or infrared rays all of a sudden. You'll see as per the range of the camera. Whatever is captured and recorded, you can see that recording too. So, whose limitation is this? Is it a camera's limitation or mine? Similarly, the consciousness which is everywhere, through anybody, be it mine, yours, anyone, even an animal, through any instrument. When a contact is established, what does it connect with? Of course, consciousness. Because if there was no consciousness, who would have said that contact is happening via it? If I ask you, where do you see all this? It is being seen within my awareness. Where did you dream? Inside my awareness. Seen through what? Via the instrument. If there was no instrument, would there be dreams? If there were no eyes, could anything be seen? If your eyes are taken out, you will stop seeing. So, in this entire creation, wherever there is an instrument of whatever type, through that instrument, whenever an object contacts consciousness, then consciousness realizes its own existence. Even if the instrument exists or doesn't, consciousness doesn't die. Consciousness is always there. Even if there or there isn't any sensation on your hand, consciousness is still there. It was there before that sensation too. If it wasn't there, how would that realization happen? Consciousness is everywhere, but an instrument is limited. Every object is limited. Every sensation is limited because they are in space-time. No object can be unlimited. No form can be unlimited. Formless can be unlimited. So that which is formless, because unique means formless. If there was a form, it wouldn't be unique, because that form would be similar to another form. The form would be in one place. That form would be changing. It would get destroyed. So what does unique mean? That which doesn't have any form. It is formless. So the instrument is a form, be it any instrument, a minute form or a huge form. It can be of a bacteria, a virus, or a dinosaur. A form is just a form. What did you see in that form? Some other form. That is again limited. But who experiences a form through an instrument? The formless. Formless is everywhere. Formless is infinite. Formless by definition means infinite. Earth, water, fire, air, space all come under the preview of a form, because space can also be squished and expanded according to the instruments. Space feels lesser and bigger at different times. Even that is connected to instruments. That is why it is called Panchbhut. This is one of the 5 elements. Elements denoting a form. Space-time phenomena have been considered under the form phenomena. That is the beauty of Vedanta. Today, science claims the same thing. But what is Vedanta talking about? The very observer which is never observed by science. What does science observe? Initially, science observed the objects, the earth. It made something out of it. Then it observed water, made energy through water, observed fire. Through sunlight, they made solar power. How can we use that power? Science is heading only in that direction. It is a linear direction. Fire and then the wind. Observed wind, now observing space, trying to understand the mystery of space. But they are never seeing who is observing the space. Who is the very observer of space? Not what is in space. Either there is something in space or the very space. We know that there is space between these two instruments, two bodies. We are observing an atom, looking at a subatomic particle, and know that there is space between them. But who is looking at the space? He who is looking at these 3 dots. They are calling it proton, neutron, electron. But essentially, they are just 3 dots. You observe those dots and you'll find 3 dots within them. You'll name them and you'll find space between them again. It is up to infinity. Go as small or go as big. As you go on zooming in, it is endless. You go on zooming out, it is endless too. You will never find any end to it. Every time you'll find some remaining space. You then observe that space and you'll see something new. So, who is it who is looking at those dots and also the space between those dots? It is he who is being discussed here, because in space there are innumerous things. Keep on making instruments and observing. There is no end. Vedanta says, see whatever you want, but what is the end result? Be it you who through this body is seeing that there is a space between these 2 instruments. These are 2 points, right? One is this body, and one is your body. There is space between these 2 points. Or, if you are observing through a very sophisticated instrument, that there is one atom over here and another one over there. There is space between them. What is the difference? Ultimately, you are just observing. Unique and pure perceptive essence. Unique means formless. This word must go deep within. Unique means infinite. You can't imagine infinite. You don't think about infinite. Unique means the source of everything, else it can't be unique. And perceptive essence, meaning consciousness, because the entire creation is meaningless without consciousness. Imagine that this entire creation is present without any conscious being. Then what does this creation even mean? Its existence and non-existence are the same in that case. There is no thought, no feeling, no experience, no one to see, no one to listen. Nothing exists. So in this case, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. Even if nothing happens, it doesn't matter. So because of what everything matters? Consciousness. That perceptive essence is you. You are not only unique, you are also conscious essence. You are not only formless or infinite, that which is formless, that which is infinite, that is perceptive essence too. That is the very basis of experience. That is the very ground for the experience. Meaning, that which is formless isn't different from me. That is me. I am not only Sat, but I am Chit too. Chit means consciousness. Sat means existence. As they say, Sat, Chit, Anand. But technically, it is not Anand, because people then start imagining a state of happiness. If we study the scriptures, we'll find Anantam, meaning which is endless, infinite. So, Sat, Chit, Anantam, which means that I don't need to free myself of some form. I am already free from every form. I don't need to do anything. By my very nature, I am free from the form, any kind of form. What happens is an instrument is created within me. That instrument can be anywhere, can be anything. I experience something through that. That instrument is a form. What is visible inside that instrument is a form too. Who is experiencing? The formless one. As soon as I experience anything, I consider myself as a form, when in actual sense, I am formless. It is that simple. Something touches your hand. What do you say? It touched me. Through what? Through the body. That body which is like an instrument. If there were no body or instrument, there wouldn't be any touch too. So I felt this touch. Is this touch not a form itself? There is an instrument through which you are observing an object. One is when that instrument comes in contact with this object. The sensation which happens, which you realize, isn't that sensation an object too? It is a subtle object, but it is an object. I am aware of that too. The feeling which reaches to the brain which is an instrument. But as soon as that feeling happens, I call myself limited. It is an error. Why does it happen? Because we have identified ourselves as instruments. Like space, closest example for us which is infinite is space. I am like space, which is everywhere. An instrument is created on its own in the space, and it started operating because of the software. What does space feel? Wherever the instrument goes, there is a realization of the presence of something in space through that instrument itself. So, I am looking through this instrument is absolutely correct, but I am seeing only over here is an error. How can consciousness be yours? This is so simple. Like the water is not yours. Is the water in this creation yours? No. So, can you claim that the consciousness in this body is yours? Have you made it? Bought it? What have you done? So, the consciousness isn't yours, but consciousness exists is a sure thing. I am conscious is a sure thing. So why are we overpowering this consciousness? Doesn't this consciousness belong to everyone? The consciousness which is in this body, the same consciousness is in some other body too. Doesn't matter if that body is small or large. Consciousness is still the same. ASHTAVAKRA Ji says, through this supreme decision, fill light into the darkness of ignorance and become sorrowless and blessed. This is being stressed continuously. Be happy, be blessed. Fill light into the darkness of ignorance. The moment you leave your desire to experience something, then you are everywhere and you are nowhere. Words have limitations. What will you say? How can you define your deep sleep experience in words? You can only say, I was. Where? For how long? What is the space-time concept here? Space-time concept is based on the existence of something. It is based on the existence of a feeling. What is this feeling based on if not the instrument? Either you have a feeling in your dream or you have a feeling while awake. What is this feeling based on if not on an instrument? So am I an instrument or the one who perceives through the instrument? This is called wisdom, which is so simple, but repetition is required here because we are habituated with something else. So we are repeating the same thing over and over again through different ways because you don't know when it clicks for you. Through this supreme decision, fill light into the darkness of ignorance and become sorrowless and blessed. Why this sorrow? The change of instrument, the death of instrument, the appearance and disappearance of all other instruments connected to this instrument. Instrument denote living beings here. One is instruments who are living beings and others are objects which are non-living beings. But if keenly observed, both are objects itself. But you need to have a lot of patience to understand this. You have to see intricately and closely because whatever I am saying here or whatever ASHTAVAKRA Ji is saying is that you don't do anything. It's a really big statement. Like space doesn't do anything. Mirror forms on its own and gets destroyed itself. If you understand this in depth, that neither does another do anything to you, nor do you yourself do anything to yourself. Everything happens on its own. How to understand this? You have to minutely observe your thoughts, your actions to grasp this. Then you'll see that thoughts flow on their own. I do not think. It feels that I think. Meaning, the pinnacle of spirituality is that this free will is an illusion. Whatever you do or whatever someone else is doing to you, be it bad or good, what is it based on? Free will. What I do is my own doing. Someone else does things on their own. That is why he did good or bad to you. You did it of your own, and therefore your decisions are either correct or wrong. But the reality is that everything is happening on its own. This instrument is working in a particular way because of some information which is fed inside. Change that information and it'll start working in a different manner. Now the thought of changing the information which is inside the instrument, where did that come from? Even that is information. Information acts upon the information. This body is nothing but gross information. Everything in this body is information. It is full of information. And science has progressed so much, we should be able to understand this today. If you pluck a small hair from your head and gave it to, say, FBI in the US, they'll dig out your entire generation through that hair. They'll clone you completely. You, your grandfather, your parents. What is this? It means that what we call matter is information. That information which acts on information. But the point which is to be deeply noted over here is everything is at the level of form. Information is always about the form. There can't be information about the formless. Information is form. Be it an object or an image of an object, both are forms. But you are the formless. Become sorrowless and blessed, which means be completely free. Whatever is happening here is happening on its own. If a huge action is to happen through this instrument of yours, it will happen. Don't think of it as something you will do. There is something inside. Some desire is suppressed within. As soon as there is a contact through your senses with something which matches that desire, you'll be inspired. This is what inspiration is. Bigger the desire, bigger the action. This body will be acting and we will feel that we are doing it. But in reality, you don't do anything. You are just there, always there. Through this supreme decision, fill light into the darkness of ignorance and become sorrowless and blessed.